In 1996, a little boy Bobby Macaulay wrote a letter to the local newspaper asking not to remove a bus stop near the village of Baltasound on Unst, one of the Shetland Islands. These islands are about 2,000 kilometers away from Belarus and 7,000 kilometers from Florida. The Shetland Islands lie 170 kilometers to the northeast of mainland Scotland. The Shetland archipelago comprises about 300 islands and skerries, of which 16 are inhabited. The coastline of the islands is rugged and reminiscent of the Norwegian fjords. There is not a single place in Shetland, which is more than 5 kilometers from the sea. The climate is cloudy, humid, and moderate owing to the influence of the warm Atlantic waters. The typical landscape is bare rolling plains and plateaus, up to 450 meters high. There are practically no trees in Shetland. They cannot grow under the conditions of constant and strong winds. There are many birds living on the islands. Wild mammals, except rats and mice, appeared in Shetland thanks to people. The islanders bred their own breed of sheepdogs, the Sheltie. In the past, this small dog was trained in herding livestock. Under the unfavorable climatic conditions of the islands, a special breed of horses was formed, the Shetland pony. These are small stocky horses, which silhouette reminds us of that of draft horses. The average weight of a Shetland pony is 150 to 180 kilograms. The height at the withers is from 65 to 110 centimeters. They are intelligent and easy to train, active and love to move. Shetland ponies are highly people-oriented and very loyal. They are often used for initial training of children in equitation. Sheep are bred in Shetland. It is not surprising that knitting has always been a common craft among Shetland women. Large areas on the islands are covered with peat, which the locals used to heat their homes. It happened that during bad weather, strong winds and rain blew away the peat layer. As a result, the remains of ancient buildings appeared on the surface. 100 years ago, in the town of Sumburgh, located at the south end of the mainland, the largest of the Shetland Islands, Jarlshof was discovered, a place where people lived during at least 4,000 years. The most ancient, from approximately 2000 BC to 800 BC, are the remains of Bronze Age houses. Stone mills, querns, were used to grind various corns into flour. Numerous shells of mollusca have been preserved, which were a significant source of food for local residents. Roundhouses have been dated prior to 200 BC. The remains of Viking settlements, 9th to 14th centuries AD, have been preserved, including the Long House. The youngest are the ruins of a castle built in the 16th to 17th centuries. The remains of a broch can be seen next to it. A broch is a round fortified structure. Brochs were built from stones using the dry stone method, i.e. without any mortar to bind them together. The strength of the structure was ensured by the selection of stones that fit together precisely. Brochs are characteristic of Scotland only. There are more than 100 of them left. The internal diameter of brochs is from 5 to 15 meters. The walls of the highest surviving broch, the island of Musa in Shetland, are 13 meters high. Clickaman Broch is located near the main town of the archipelago, Lerwick. Clickaman was the first building in Britain to be protected in court by the Ancient Monuments Act of 1886. Protection was needed because the local butcher Mackay stole stones from the broch to build his stable. At the same time, the broch was restored by local history amateurs. But in such a way that today's scientists strongly doubt its authenticity. It is unknown what the purpose of brochs was. Were they defensive structures, agricultural storehouses, or grand homes for high-status members of the community? Sometimes, the brochs are called Pictish castles. But Shetland became part of the Kingdom of the Picts, along with most of northern Scotland, around 297 AD. While brochs had been built before that, which does not exclude the possibility that the Picts used them. The Picts, Latin, picti, painted, tattooed, this is how since the late 3rd century AD ancient writers used to call the tribes that lived in the far north of Britain. The Picts were fearless enemies of the Romans who conquered southern and central Britain at the beginning of our era. To protect themselves, the Romans were forced to build Hadrian's Wall in 122 to 128 AD, which has survived to this day. Many Pictish stones decorated with intricate carvings have been preserved. They often feature an image of the Pictish beast, called sometimes the Pictish dragon. An illustration from the book called Sculptured Stones of Scotland, 1867, shows various versions of this creature. It was undoubtedly an important symbol for the Picts, but its meaning is not clear. The Pictish beast is not easily identifiable with any real animal. It resembles a seahorse, a dolphin, or an anteater, while some believe it looks like the Loch Ness Monster. In 563 AD, St. Columba sailed to Scotland to convert the local heathens, the Picts and the Scots, to Christianity. There are many stories of miracles that he performed during his mission. The most famous story is how he drove a ferocious, water beast, into the depths of Loch Ness. This may be why on some Pictish stones the Pictish beast is found next to the Christian cross. In the 9th century, the Picts and the Scots united to form the Kingdom of Alba, today's Scotland. Soon, as a result of assimilation, the Picts ceased to exist as a separate nation. Around the same time, Shetland was colonized by Vikings from Norway, who brought their language, Norn, to the islands. The islanders spoke it until the 19th century. In 875, Harold Fairhair annexed the islands to the Kingdom of Norway. In 1397, Norway and Sweden concluded the Kalmar Union with Denmark. In 1468 Margaret of Denmark was betrothed to James III of Scotland. Her father, Christian I of Denmark, had no money for a dowry and gave the Shetland and Orkney Islands to the Scots. From that time on, Shetland became part of the Kingdom of Scotland. And since 1707, part of the Kingdom of Great Britain. In the late 19th century, a spinner and hand knitter, Betty Muat, lived in the South Mainland. On January 30, 1886, she was the sole passenger on the smack Columbine, sailing from Grutness to Lerwick where she planned to visit her sister, sell her knitting, and to visit a doctor. The weather quickly turned bad, and the skipper was washed overboard. The other two crew members launched a small boat in an unsuccessful attempt to rescue him. They were unable to return to the Columbine, but managed to return safely to shore. Betty was left alone on the Columbine, which was still under some sail. Betty survived for 9 days at sea until the Columbine ran aground off the coast of Norway at Lapsoya near the town of Alesund. Local fishermen rescued Betty Muat and helped her return to her homeland. Queen Victoria learned of the miraculous rescue of her subject. At her direction, a cash reward and a letter of thanks were sent to Betty's rescuers.
That the best thanks to the brave men of Lepso who nobly and at so much risk rescued the poor woman from the wreck, and carried her over a difficult and dangerous path to their homes, and to the kindly people of Lepso generally for their generous attention to and the careful nursing of her in her forlorn and helpless condition.
Betty Muat's cottage has survived to this day and is now used as a camping bothy. In 1995, the remains of an ancient settlement, Old Scatness, were discovered nearby. People have lived in this area for thousands of years. Archaeologists have found artifacts from the Iron Age, times of Picts and Vikings, and medieval times. One cannot help but recall another episode in the history of Shetland, which has to do with Norway. During World War II, in the settlement of Scalloway, the headquarters of the Norwegian resistance organization, Shetland Bus, was located. Members of the organization used small combat and fishing vessels to bring refugees from Norway and send back resistance fighters and ammunition. Well, it is time to return to the island of Unst, the northernmost of the inhabited British Isles. Unst is largely grassland, with coastal cliffs. Its population is less than 1,000 people. The ruins of Munis Castle are located here. It was built in the late 16th century. In 1858, on Muckleflugga, a small rocky island north of Unst, a lighthouse was built. According to the project of the writer Robert Louis Stevenson's father and uncle. The author visited Unst, and the island is claimed to have become the basis for the map of the Treasure Island in his famous novel. And it is the island where Bobby Macaulay used to cycle to the bus stop in the mornings to catch his bus to school. The local council had plans to remove it, but he asked them not to, because it was where he kept his bike while at school. The authorities listened to him, and soon a wicker sofa and a table mysteriously appeared in it. Since then, this bus stop became one of the most visited tourist attractions in Shetland, winning the award of Best Bus Shelter in Britain, Bus's monthly magazine. In 1998, Bobby's Bus Shelter opened its own website, that was recognized the Community Website of the Year 2003 by Yahoo!